Hey guys, Master Sanzo here. I am the final anomaly. So normally I just do streaming, like live streaming on Twitch and Mixer, Facebook and YouTube. I also put some content out, video game content on YouTube. But I've decided I struggle with this program so much, 3 or 4 days, that I wanted to share with you guys how I got my issues fixed. I want to say this is pretty much universal because I didn't do very much to get this stuff fixed. I mean, you do have to do a case-by-case basis on certain things, but other than that, it's pretty simple. So anyway, just bear with me. I'll try to keep this video as short as possible. So for starters, if you've already started on the settings and you've jacked them all up, or they're all mixed up, or you just want to start from scratch, my first recommendation is go ahead and delete those settings. If you don't know how, you can just go ahead and go to Show Settings folder. It's going to take you to the folder and go ahead and delete everything that you see on there. It'll keep a few files on there, but that's good. You can't delete them. Um, and then you should have your settings pretty much from scratch or like at default. And so before you go to your settings, I highly recommend go to tools here. I did not know about this until probably about the last day that I was about to really give up on this program and go back to Elgato Capture Card program. But if you go to Auto Configuration Wizard here, you pretty much kind of don't have to mess with your settings. So what this is going to do is it's automatically going to run your system, run your internet, and see what settings you can run at for a good stream or a perfect stream, or at least close to perfect. And so when you do it, you just want to click on it. It's going to have you select what streaming service you use. You go on it, and it's going to tell you where your bit rate needs to be, where your frames per second needs to be, and then what your resolution needs to look like. And so it'll pretty much set up your settings for you. Once you're done with that, you can go into settings and it's going to give you these options here. So in general, I did nothing to this. I didn't change anything. So if you guys don't mess with it, unless you want to change your theme default, your theme, leave it alone. And so for stream, you just want to log into the account you're going to be streaming from. It gives you many options: Twitch, YouTube, Mixer, Restream. And then for output, this is probably the most important part of this whole entire thing, is the output. And so for output, you want to change it from simple to advanced. Just click on it, hit advanced, and then it's going to break down streaming, recording, audio, and replay buffer. And so for streaming, the audio tracks, I need to put that, I need to change that, but you can add whatever audio tracks you want. This is just up to you. For the encoder, the system actually told me that the NVIDIA should be my encoder, but I'm having issues with it, and so X264 is what it defaulted to, which is great because it works perfect. And so for the rescale output, this right here actually should be unchecked. The rescale output, I don't recommend it. If you need to change anything from your output, you want to do that on video, on your video tab here. And so leave that alone, don't check it. The rate control, I have it at CBR. If you have the NVIDIA card, you might want to change that. But I have it at CBR for now. And then the bitrate, the system did tell me 6,000 is my number, but after doing a few streams and playing it and doing it by case basis, I went ahead and changed it to 5,000. It was just a better fit for me. Not that it wasn't almost perfect with 6,000. So guys, if you guys are just starting and getting to know this, leave it as is, but slowly start playing. When you start to understand this a little bit, start playing with it a little bit, and you can lower it. The keyframe interval, some streamers or some videos on YouTube will tell you to put this at 2. I have no issues, so I'm leaving it at 0. Don't fix it if it's not broke, right? And then for this here, for the presets, you can change it. Depends on depends on your computer and how good your computer is. You can do medium fast, fast, or very fast. I have it at very fast. I'm actually thinking of changing it to super fast, maybe ultra fast. But at the time being, I have it at very fast, and it works for me. These are the things you'll have to play by ear. But for the most part, start with what the configuration wizard tells you, and then slowly watch your streams and kind of adjust as you go. For recordings, I didn't change much. All I did was I changed where I wanted my recordings to save to. I changed the folder, so I did that. The audio tracks, I switched to 2 because I may be doing some editing on this video if I have to. I'm hoping it's a one-take video though. But if not, I can do some editing there. That way what I'm recording and what I'm doing is different. I can remove some stuff or add some stuff. For audio, I did nothing to this. You might want to change this. So if you add audio tracks, you might want to change this for what you need it for it to be. Something's coming out of your desktop, something's coming out of your mic, if something's coming out of a different service. This is what you would need this for. I left it alone because I don't need it. And then replay buffer, I also left alone. You can watch different videos for how that works, but I have no need for it, so I won't be explaining it in this video. And so that's pretty much it for the output part, one of the most important parts of the entire settings. For audio, I left it all alone. Some piece of advice, and this is just if you want to, really it's just preference. So what I did is I disabled my mic on here, and instead I added in the sources in my scene, and I'll show you how to do that. All I did was I went to mic, auxiliary mic, and I went ahead and chose. You can choose your mic. Mine is a Turtle Beach, but I went ahead and turned that off. I disabled it, and so that's all I did. I would highly recommend it if you want to follow the steps that I did. For video, I pretty much left it as is. I did change it later though. So originally it's 1080. Originally, the output, system told me that 1080 would also be fine, and then that 60 frames per second would be fine. But after playing some streams, kind of testing it out, I went there and changed it to 720, and then I went from 60 to 30 frames per second, and my streams now are pretty good. The hotkeys, I'm not gonna go over that, but you can set shortcuts pretty much. And then for the advanced, I've not changed anything. I've not messed with it. Most people will tell you that 601 and partial are going to be good. And so that pretty much will be it for the settings part. So just go to settings, remove them, run the auto configuration wizard, and then go ahead and do it on a case-by-case, play-by-ear, and adjust as you go with your settings as you're streaming. So for the next part, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to set up a scene. So for a scene, you just want to click on the plus sign here, and you want to go ahead and add a scene. And so, I mean, you want to name a scene. So in this case, for example, computer. I named this one computer. And so just doing here, all this is pretty much a section for you to put things in. And so this is just putting like a little tab there saying, hey, this is the computer. Then you want to go to your sources, and you actually want to add those sources. So for example, I named it Alienware, but what I did here is I went to the plus sign, and I went ahead and went to display capture. And so when you click on display capture, it gives you one option. You name it what you want. I named mine Alienware. And so you just, I mean, it doesn't give you one option, sorry. It gives you the options according to your displays. And so it gives me one option, so I clicked on my display. Now, one issue that I did encounter is that I had a black screen when I added that, when I added my computer. I spent a while trying to figure out how to fix that. And I'm going to show you what worked for me and what was the best way. So the reason I had a black screen, what I had to do is I went to settings. I went to display settings, and then I went down to graphic settings. And what I did was I left all this normal. When I hit browse here, I went ahead and searched for my OBS file. And so I went to my C drive to program files, and I clicked on OBS and I added it. When I added it, it gives you three options. The option that I selected was power savings. Once you do that, get back in OBS. If you have it pulled up, just pull it back up, or take it down and pull it back up, and then you'll see your screen, and it's like magic. It's amazing. I love it. It's easy. I mean, that was the easiest. I think out of all the millions and millions of videos that I saw on YouTube, that was the simplest one, and it was like 2 minutes long versus people who post 30-minute videos. And so anyway, that worked out for me. It showed my computer. So anyway, that's how you put your computer on there. If you want to do Elgato, I'll show you how in a second. The next step is the mic. So to add the mic, you just hit plus. You want to go to audio input capture. You want to name it what you want and select your mic. I selected my Turtle Beach mic. And so you see my Turtle Beach mic there. And so when I left the settings as were, I was unhappy with them. First things first is I made sure to decrease my volume. I'm a pretty loud speaker. I talk really loud, and I tend to scream sometimes when I play games, which I need to put a limiter. That would be for a different video. But so anyway, I decreased my volume so that I can start my adjustments by then. And so you hear me now. This isn't how I sound. This isn't how I sounded when I first set up the mic. I have a ton of background noise. Usually have a ceiling fan on. Sometimes my other fan, my standing fan, will stay on. My computer's fan is very loud. It makes a loud noise. My mic is right next to it. And then the baby monitor sometimes is on as well. So you hear a lot of that stuff in the background. I have kids. They're screaming in the background. And so I'm going to show you how to set filters to your mic to ease some of that. And so I'm going to go ahead and go to filters. And I added 3 filters. A noise suppression, noise gate, and a compressor. And so the noise suppression is it just removes the background noise that's not close enough to get into the mic. Noise gate's pretty awesome. This is if your environment is super loud. Like when I have multiple fans on, I can hear my kids in the back. You want to have a noise gate. What this does is it opens up the mic only when the volume gets to a certain decibel, only when it gets to a certain, I guess for simple words, when it gets loud enough. When it gets loud enough, the mic will open up to record. And so when you're not recording and the mic's on, it won't capture a lot of the stuff in the background. My kids screaming, the fan going. It'll only you'll hear it only when I speak, but that's what the noise suppression is also for. In simple terms, the compressor is just to make your voice sexy. And so to add these things, this right here, you can't see it, but you can go in here, you can add this plus sign and you can add all of these, or just right click and hit add. So for example, if I wanted to add a noise suppression, I did it. All of mine are at default. It's exactly what it laid it out at. I just left it alone. If you need to decrease a little bit, you can decrease it, you can increase it. You want to play, again, case by case, you want to play by ear. Listen to your voice. I listened to my voice several times before I was happy with what I was recording. But if you lower this, you might sound a little weird, so you might want to add a gain to your voice or something, but that's for a different video. This is just kind of what helped me, kind of a short explanation. And so I kind of want to go over, I'm going to remove these. Let me go turn on my fan, and then I'm going to remove them, and you can kind of see some of the background noise that's going on in my home. Give me one quick second. I'm just going to turn that fan on real quick. And so that's my fan. I have it turned on. I don't know how much you can hear it, but I'm going to go ahead and turn off these filters. And so this is without the filters. This is what you should be able to hear without the filters. I have the fan on. I believe I turned the baby monitor off. So really pretty much all I have right now is just my fan going. My computer's not making, the fan noise isn't so loud right now. But I'm going to go ahead and turn the filters on. And then this is how it should sound. So as I'm talking, you might hear a bit of that fan coming in. But when I stay silent, you should not be hearing that fan. And so that's the whole point of the noise gate. Anyway, you want to mess with these, you kind of want to mess with, I'm not going to lie, I played with it for a few hours until I decided to just leave it at default and be happy with what I had. And so if you like the way I sound, these are the settings that I used, and it works perfect for me. Don't let it discourage you. It almost discouraged me. I'm going to cut that fan off real quick, and then we'll move over to, oh, I have one more thing for the mic, and then we'll move over to the webcam. And so for the mic, another issue you might encounter is that what you're doing, your reactions, or what you're saying is not matching up with what you're streaming or with what you're recording. And the reason is you need to set up an offset because your voice might be faster than your actual reactions. What you want to do is you want to click on your mic. Sorry, not on the mic. You want to go to the actual settings tool here, or the gear for the mic, and you want to go ahead and click on it. And you want to go ahead and hit advanced properties. And what you want to do is on the mic here, you want to set an offset. So my offset was 785 milliseconds. And so yours might be different, but you want to do is you want to kind of mess with it a little bit, start it at 800 or 700. Look at yourself, speak. And, for example, the way that I did it is I play a game, I hit the square button, he throws out a punch. I hit it a few times and I called it out every time I was doing it. And once it matched up, it was done. I was happy. That's kind of a big thing too. So I hope that helps you. The way to fix that is you want to go to the settings here, and you want to go to you want to set an offset. And so you want to play with this, but eventually it will match up. It'll be great. It'll be huge. But anyway, so that's it for the mic there. The next one is the webcam. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. So again, you just go plus here. You want to go to video capture device and select the webcam that you're using. I'm going to go ahead and put on a mask. So if I sound a bit different, I apologize. It's a little gimmick that I have. I don't show my face. I show masks. And so what you want to do with the webcam is, so here it is. Here's my webcam. You just go ahead and add it, like I said. And that's pretty much it for the webcam. It's that easy. The camera itself, you can move around where you want. But the one issue you may encounter is that when you're playing or when you're streaming and you're showing your cam, your voice and your reactions are way behind your camera. And so I'm going to give you an example. So if I do this, 2, 3, so I'm clapping, I do 1, 2, 3, it works. Well, that's because I have a filter on there. You might not have a filter, and so you might not be able to sync your voice or your sound with your camera. So what you want to do is you want to right click, you want to add a filter, and you want to hit add, and you want to add a delay, or is it video delay? Okay. And so there's my video delay. And so I have it at 700 milliseconds. So let me show you what happens when I turn that off. So if I keep it on and I clap, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, I'm in sync. But if I turn it off and I don't have that delay, and this is just as is, now all of a sudden, 1, 2, 3, I'm not matching up. I'll turn it back on, clap again, 1, 2, and I'm back in sync. And so that's an easy fix. That's how you fix that. If you have a webcam delay, it's that freaking simple. It takes seconds. The only thing is you kind of want to play it by ear again, case by case, on the milliseconds that you need. And so I'd recommend anything below 1500. Kind of play with it. I played with it, but it was easy. I started at 1000, I went to 900, 800. You kind of get an idea when you start to see it. And 700 just happened to be the key, and so that really helped. So now for the next step, and this was huge for me, guys, was that when I first started OBS, I stopped using it and gave up on it because I could not get my graphics right. My games they were so pixely, it made absolutely no sense. I did not understand why it was so pixely. So I'm gonna give you an example. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up I'm gonna pull up El Gato here. Let's just name it El Gato. And so see here, and so I'm selecting what I wanted to show. So I wanted to show El Gato, hit OK. And so now here, now there's a little delay here, but this is eventually gonna, it's gonna turn into El Gato for you. It's gonna say no signal. And so we'll show you. I'm gonna go ahead and make it bigger too. And so just give it a second. It's taking its sweet time, but it's loading up. Well, anyway, let me go ahead and turn on the game system as well, and that way we can show you. I gotta make sure I did in fact change that to El Gato. Yep. It's taking its sweet time. We'll give it a second. But anyway, so it was real pixely. Nothing would change it. I would go to settings. I would change the resolution. I would change the output, the input. I would change the frames per second, the bit rate, thinking, okay, maybe that's got something to do with it. That's why it's so pixely. And no, nothing. There was no hope for me. Literally, like, I gave up on the system, and I went back to Elgato's program because there was nothing I can do. And so, what helped me change this pixelization was not in the settings tab, guys. What I actually did, and I couldn't find any video on YouTube to give me the answer for this. I right-clicked on Elgato, I hit Properties, and then I went to Configure Video. Oh, give me 1 second. Oh, no, it's on there. No, give me 1 second, guys. Let me remove this, make this smaller, and put it here where my webcam is. I'm going to go ahead and remove the webcam, because I need y'all to be able to see this. And so I went to Properties. Let me make this smaller. Okay, I went to Configure Video. And so in Configure Video, here, right here, let's disconnect my capture device. I wonder if I don't have it. I could have sworn I've turned it on. Anyway, so you don't need to see the actual video, but so here it's going to tell you where it's at. If it's 1080p, if it's 720p. Well, it was at 640. I don't understand why it was at 640. It made no sense to me. But it was at 640, and so what I did, all I did was I reset it to default. Once I reset it to default, it brought it up to 1080p for me. I was able to change it to 720p, and my graphics were amazing. So one more time, guys, if you guys are having a graphics issue and settings is not helping you, just right-click on Elgato, go to Properties, go to Configure Video, and then set it to default, and it should bring back the system as it should be. That's pretty much it. I'm going to remove Elgato here because I don't need it. I already have one. And you should be good as new. So I hope that helped you guys. This is kind of just what helped me, little things here and there. There's other things you can play around with. If you have any questions, go ahead and send a message on the comment. I'll be happy to answer. I'd appreciate any and all support. A like on the video, subscribe, a comment, even a dislike. If you'd follow me on Twitch, the link is down below. I also have the link for Mixer on there. I appreciate everything, guys. I hope this helped y'all. See y'all soon.